Hello, you wanking worm slurpers. Jim Sterling here, and this is The Tomorrow Children. I keep having to double check it because I keep wanting to say The Children of Tomorrow, but it's actually The Tomorrow Children. And this is a game about... It's a game. It's a game, I can tell you that much. It's... Yeah. It's kind of like Minecraft a bit, but not. And also quite comparable to No Man's Sky, which, you know, isn't necessarily a good thing depending on your outlook, i.e. if you've got my outlook. But the general concept is you are a girl. Everyone online is a girl. It's online. It's like got online multiplayer. So that's kind of a difference between that and No Man's Sky. You can actually see other players. And you're all contributing to one town. You're all gathering resources, using pickaxes, doing all the Minecraft shit to pick up different resources. I've got metal here. You can get crystal and logs and coal and all this stuff. You deposit them in town and everyone's contributing together. Part of the reason why it's got this kind of satirical communist vibe to it, with all the Russian-sounding music and stuff, is because you're all basically workers toiling together for the common good, that sort of thing. You know, kind of a cute little premise. And it is, I like the idea of it. I like the fact that as you're gathering resources, you're all doing it together, so it's a collaborative thing. And there are lots of different towns, and you can go to different ones, and you can choose to be a resident in one of them and you know, work just for that town. And all these islands appear, and they're procedurally generated. And you can't just walk from the town to the island because the void is out there, and that'll just kill you. So you've got to use the bus. So there's a lot of waiting for the bus. There's a lot of waiting in this game in general. All sorts of just waiting around doing nothing. Again, comparable to No Man's Sky in that it's... I mean, you can look at it. It's more resource gathering because we don't have enough of those in games already. Crafting, you can use the town's resources to build things, different buildings and stuff. And waiting around, well, just waiting for things to happen, which isn't brilliant. But it's not like I don't find the game endearing in some way. I can't decide whether I like it at all or not. I've been playing it for several hours, and I'm veering toward just saying I like the idea, I like the effort they put in, but ultimately it's a little bit dreary. It's a little bit... Like I feel like I've done everything I need to do already, and it only came out yesterday, and I'm probably going to review it tomorrow on the website, and I'm done. Similar to No Man's Sky, I'm like, I'm over it already. I can only gather resources, in video games in general, for so long, and I'm so sick of it. These are the microtransactions, by the way. As a matter of disclosure, the developer, or the publisher, or Sony, I guess, gave me a Founders Edition. It's free to play, but I got a Founders Edition, and like that got 2,000 of the real money currency credits with it. That's what I used to get the pickaxe. Without that, the game is even more of a slog because the pickaxes and all the other tools are limited. And if you run out of them while you're here on the island, you're just going to have to bus it back to town and buy another one. And this Eagle Court one here, the actual good pickaxe that chops things fast and has quite a bit of durability, that's the premium stuff. The stuff you get with the toil points, the coupons, the you know, the bullshit currency that's in most free-to-play games, as opposed to the premium currency, just gets you crappier gear, you know. So that's annoying. But otherwise, I mean, it's free, so it's not like, you know, people paid $60 for it, and I am less annoyed by it than I am by the other shit. Sorry, No Man's Sky, I shouldn't just say the other shit. Because I mean the game no ill will. But leveled up. There's leveling. You know, that's a little bit compelling. Oh, fuck, I'm not even 5 minutes in. It's quite a long video as well. Okay, let's think of things to... Okay, I'll just be explanatory. That'll give me stuff to say. The gold stuff is metal, I think. you get the metal and you put that in the town, and that's used for building and things like that. You get coal, and that's used for power. You build energy stations, that gives the town energy, and as you build that stuff up, the town gets better. And the ultimate goal is to bring 100% life to the town, and that will basically end that town, and you move on to another one. And that's all, you know, all this randomly generated stuff. All the islands I've seen so far have all looked pretty different. I've seen some common threads. You know, you'll find an island that's made out of different coloured balls, like blue and orange balls, and you'll see that again, but in a different random pattern. Sometimes it's weird, like legs and feet that have come out the ground, or crab claws was another one. Just an island full of floating crab claws. Very random, very weird, very silly. Presentation I like everything looks, the characters all look like they're made out of wood. The general backstory is that something happened to destroy all of existence. Oh, this is an island dying. Islands only stick around for so long, and you've got to mine as many resources as you can from them, and they disappear. So that island disappeared on me. That's what the rumbling was. I didn't know that at first. As I was playing this island, I didn't know that the rumbling meant the island was getting fucked. And as you can see here, this is what happens when there's no island, no town, no bus. You kind of sink into the nothingness, this white plain nothingness. And you just got to wait at the bus stop for the bus to come. Now, I've done some editing I've got different clips that I've kind of cut together. So a lot of the boring waiting I left out, because you're watching this video, you want to be entertained, you don't want to just sit and watch nothing. But I did cut out a lot of just waiting around. Like when you get on the bus as well, I left this one in so you can see just how long it can be. But this, imagine doing this like several times over in one game session, and that's kind of a large amount of the game's experience. It's like I'm doing nothing here. And go to the toilet. That's actually, you probably can't risk it, because that's one of the other things about the game is I feel like the waiting time is too long to feel comfortable waiting, but too short to go and do something else while you wait for the bus. Many times I've missed the bus because I decided, well, okay, I'll go build something. I'll go gather something in town. I'll go do something. And the bus is fucked off by the time I'm ready to get, back out onto the island. So I just got to wait around again or find something to do. You can see what a mess the town looks like. There's no roads, or it doesn't look like an inhabited place because everything's just randomly put there by players. You can build your own buildings and drag them around and just drop them where they are. And as you can see, the game has no real collision detection for that. You saw a moment ago the bus just went through a building because it's the only way this game would work. If the bus was a solid object, you'd get nowhere, because I don't think I've been on an island yet where eventually that area doesn't get choked up and the bus has to just ghost through stuff. There's actually a lot of ghosting through stuff in this game, a ton of it. This is how you get the bullshit money, the coupons. You go and turn in your work. The game logs everything you do, whether you're fighting monsters or repairing things. We'll see that here. This is a big monster. They're like these big kaiju things that kind of wander around the void, and they walk through things, as you can see here. And then we fix them with little mini games. And you can fight those. There'll be some footage in a little bit of me manning one of the cannons and firing cannonballs at them, which also is kind of lengthy and tedious because it's the same thing over and over, which is ultimately what's killing this game, is the same thing over and over. Oh, messed that one up though. So yeah, like even repairing, like this is an exciting event. The monsters stomp through town because no one was able to kill it. I think at this point I was either the only or there was someone else. There's only one or two people manning this town. I answered a request. Sometimes in-game requests come up from other towns that I guess are failing and need material. So I went to this town. It was empty. Okay, there's one other person there. And I just kind of hung out here. I ended up becoming a resident here. I think this might be the town I'm still a resident in, or it might be the one I left just before. Either way, as you can see, even repairing is just, eventually it's monotony. And there's a soothing element to that. You know, people talked of No Man's Sky for, you know, talked about how it was a meditative experience. And there is some of that to this as well. And because I feel like in this, it's a little more focused and there's a bit more to do, I enjoy this more than I did No Man's Sky. But the comparisons are hard not to make. Okay, so that's repairing. This is just going back to chopping. This actually, I think the silvery stuff here is a monster. If you defeat one of those kaiju things, they fall over. Yeah, you can see its leg there. They fall over and crystallize and become basically a kind of another island. There's a doll there. Did I mention the dolls already? The dolls are kind of important. They're the most valuable things. You can only hands-free carry one of them. You could carry another one, but it would take up your hands. They're fragile. If you die holding one, they shatter. You got to be careful with them, and you're actually penalised if they break. You got to take them back to town and put them on a rescue station, and they turn into people. They turn into NPCs, and that's the ultimate goal: is to repopulate the world. And each town gets filled up with those, which again is more resource balancing, like all these games have. You got to keep building, you got to keep getting resources so you can keep building houses so that you can up your population rate so you can revive more dolls. And that's the I guess what you would call the game's driving goal, even though once you've done it, it just resets the island and then you do it again elsewhere. And having already seen an island conclude, and then spent another day to day just doing the same shit to see the same thing, I'm like, yeah, it was worth the entry price of free. I mean, I don't regret the time I've spent with it, but I feel like if I'd have actually spent money on it, I'd have regretted that. I think actually going free to play was a wise move on their part. And yeah, given it's kind of really wasn't promoted very much. Didn't get much in the way of marketing. So, I mean, I'm at the point now where the first time I played the game yesterday when it launched, this was handy because sometimes you get a monster killed right by town, so you don't have to wait for the stupid fucking bus. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, the first town I went to, quite populated. Then recently I've just not been seeing that, so I don't know how much online life this game's going to have. But this is me just dumping some coal over here. I mean, you can actually feasibly, and it's somewhat more efficient, you see the trees. There are trees behind this loading station, and there's a food stockpile just past it there. And sometimes it's just, you can actually level up and get currency quicker by going over there, shaking the trees, which gives you a little bit of XP just for doing that, and then picking up the apples that fall and dropping them in the food thing. And you could just do that. I mean, it's even more repetitive than doing everything else, but gestures, you can do those too. But it's a quick way of doing things without all the waiting around and shit. I kept this footage in just to show you a doll being revived, and then, of course, forgot that, oh yeah, this will take fucking forever as well, because these games are always waiting games. So I got a bit bored. We do stick it the whole way, but, oh, brilliant. Oh, someone's doing yard work when I'm trying to record. I've really got to stop doing these things in the afternoon. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. Oh, I forgot to mention there are these big black borders around it. That's not in the game. This was me again, couldn't be asked to just capture stuff and hope to get good footage. This was me recording after the fact on PS Share, which apparently just... Some games do weird things with it. Some of them add borders. And given the curvature of the border, I think they've done it on purpose. Like, I guess they think this makes it stylish. Added this little bit of combat. You get different weapons. You can use your chainsaw, which is a standard tool for cutting down trees, but here I've got a shotgun. And the shooting is fairly bog standard. You actually stay stood still when you shoot. You can't move and shoot. It's like old Resident Evil 4, before the moving and shooting was allowed. So that's nostalgic, I guess. This is using the cannons to fight. This was on the first day. So you can see someone, like, cannons coming from somewhere else, cannonballs coming from somewhere else. It's actually pretty cool when there's a whole bunch of you together just firing cannons at this thing. But, as I'm sure you can tell from how long it's taking for each bullet to fire, how long it's taking for the monster's health to go down, this takes a fucking long time. And gets tedious. This was me fast-forwarding to a different fight, actually. This isn't the same one as last time. But this was 3 of us hurling stuff, maybe 4 even. Yeah, 4 of us hurling missiles. I've called them cannonballs, bullets, and missiles so far. I don't know what the best term would be. But missile could refer to any ranged projectile thing. Anyway, that's it dying. Killed it. And then I headed over and we chopped it up to pieces. This is it. The one that fell, we're over here chopping it to pieces. Went to pickaxe this bit and it glitched out weirdly and shoved me down and then pulled me back up. Fair enough. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. My part's done because I'm going to show you what happens when an island's completed. Bye.
Slovak нам так никто не использовал автоцентов, как люди мира стремятся.
Wash, rinse, repeat.